Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Get my bearings here. Right. It is incredibly good to be here with all of you and see so many friendly faces. My family and I are so grateful for the opportunity to return to Holy Blossom this Shabbat. Unfortunately, as we mentioned, my kiddos and wife could not be here. But Holy Blossom is the place that is dear to our heart, where I launched my rabbinate and my family as well. And so we are so grateful to be here. Rabbi Splansky, thank you for the invitation to speak this evening. Hospitality is second to none. So it was admittedly a little tricky deciding what to address this Shabbat. It was a heavy week. And one major headline after another, paired with the heaviness of the Jewish calendar. And of course, most troubling, coming from Jerusalem with the Knesset's irresponsible decisions. There is certainly no shortage of issues to be concerned about. And while it is important for us to discuss our concerns and understand the implications of decisions being made in Jerusalem, this Shabbat I'm hoping to address, if it is okay with you, something much, much lighter, simpler in nature, turning inwards and reflecting just a bit. So about a week ago, I learned how to mow my lawn. Okay, so maybe not worthy of national headlines and certainly not more important than any of the issues that are going on in Israel. And yet there truly is some great value in unpacking this experience of learning how to cut the grass. Now you may be asking yourself, Rabbi, where are you going with this? What does mowing the lawn have anything to do with Judaism, have anything to do with Shabbat? Well, while it might appear simple and routine, our encounter with everyday chores like this can hold deep significance and valuable insight for our lives. As Jews, we have a rich tradition of finding meaning in the most ordinary aspects of life. Our sages teach us that every action can be elevated to some higher plane when infused with intention and an awareness of what you are doing. And so cutting the grass is no exception. In our fast-paced lives, we often overlook the beauty and the lessons hidden within nature. Our busy schedules and endless responsibilities can blind us to the wonders around us, even our own backyards, preventing us from truly appreciating the gifts of creation. However, by embracing the act of cutting the grass or watering the flowers or trimming the hedges, we can find some sense of spiritual nourishment as well. And the very first lesson we learn is that of stewardship. When we take the time to trim the grass, we are taking on the role of caretakers, tending to the earth that sustains us. Perhaps this feels like a little bit of a stretch, but there is something really important here. Is mowing the lawn an act of tikkun olam? Of course not. But it is a duty that we cannot simply avoid. It is work that must be done. It is not optional. Whether we hire someone to do it for us or we roll up our sleeves and do it ourselves, it's a task that must be accomplished. And this act of responsibility reminds us of our sacred duty to preserve and protect our environment. It encourages us to reconsider and consider how we can be more mindful of our impact, whether it is conserving resources, reducing waste, or advocating for sustainable practices. By tending to the grass, we become partners with the divine in the ongoing work of creation. Additionally, cutting the grass teaches us some form of patience. As we move a lawnmower across the yard, this witness of gradual transformation of the landscape is powerful. We witness growth and we witness change that occurs over time. And when we are just getting the task started, we can sense how much work we have ahead. And in a world that has grown accustomed to instant gratification, the act of mowing reminds us that true growth takes time. It teaches us to be patient with ourselves, to be patient with those around us. as we each navigate our personal journeys. Just as we patiently trim the grass, we must nurture relationships and cultivate our virtues, trust in the process of becoming ourselves. And with each pass, we get a little closer to our goal. Mowing the yard is a counter-cultural reminder that incremental change does make a massive impact. And though, perhaps most importantly, learning how to cut the grass teaches us humility. Now, I'm genuinely not sure if I should be embarrassed that I have never mowed a lawn before last week, or proud of myself for taking the time to learn a new skill. In all honesty, it's a little bit of both. Recognizing the privilege that I've had in my life, that I've never really needed to do this myself, and still being proud for learning something new. But in full transparency, the process of learning this skill was quite humbling. As a full-grown man, I had my father-in-law come over to my house and show me how to fill it up with gas and all the safety understandings and features and how to start the mower, the basic technique of actually doing the job. And my father-in-law is as kind and as patient and an excellent teacher as can be, and there is nothing that he could have done to help me from feeling just a little bit emasculated. It is a humbling experience learning to do something at this stage of life that some people do before they are even teenagers. And after speaking with a number of friends in the Jewish community, I was not terribly surprised to find that very few of my friends had ever mowed a lawn before either. And further, I was not terribly surprised to learn how many of my friends and colleagues had absolutely no interest in learning this skill at all. And this has nothing to do with arrogance or feeling that mowing the lawn is somehow beneath us. On the contrary, Judaism teaches us that there is no such thing as a menial task. We are to humble ourselves and understand that there is nothing beneath us. However, in a society that often values grand achievements and lofty ambitions, we sometimes forget that the most meaningful acts can be found in the simplest of tasks. By humbling ourselves and engaging wholeheartedly in the seemingly ordinary, we unlock the potential for the extraordinary. And we are not always great at asking for help, especially if we feel like we are asking for something that we should already know. In general, we don't like to do things that we are not good at. We build our lives around jobs and activities that we not only enjoy, hopefully, but ideally things that we have some sense of mastery over. One of the major hurdles in learning a new skill, like cutting the grass or picking up a new instrument or learning a new language, is that more often than not, we are not good at these things when we first get started. And being humbled is not always a comfortable feeling, and it is one that we often try to avoid. In a classroom that is filled with adult learners, when a challenging question is posed, there is often a good deal of silence. People don't want to be wrong. We are embarrassed when we are not in the know. And in contrast, if you fill a classroom up with children, they will raise their hand even if they don't understand the question. That sense of curiosity, that sense of courage and willingness to be wrong is in fact the best mentality that leads to growth. And somewhere along life's path, we seem to lose this courage to fail. And so my biggest takeaway from mowing my lawn was not actually the skill itself, but rather a reminder to humble myself and attempt to learn new things, even when they feel uncomfortable. Cutting the grass is not just about maintaining a well-manicured lawn. It is an opportunity to cultivate ourselves as well. And through this act and others like it, we learn the values of stewardship and patience and humility. So let us embrace these lessons and carry them into our lives, infusing each moment with purpose and intention. And may our encounters with the mundane and all aspects of the natural world inspire us to live more consciously in harmony with creation and in service to one another. May we be ambitious in trying new things and celebrate the discomfort that comes with learning a new skill. Ken Yehi Ratzon. And thank you. Shabbat Shalom.